report you saw first on CBS 6, leading to demands for answers and accountability.
And there isn't a public official in the state of New York that could contend that this is legal.
The growing chorus of backlash aimed at Albany County District Attorney David Soares.
Plus, a series of Super Bowl ads raising concern about national security. Why a popular online retailer is at the center of it all.
CBS 6 News starts now.
First tonight at 5, major developments in a story you first saw right here on CBS 6 last week. Our very own Greg Floyd revealed that Albany County District Attorney David Soares is under investigation, accused of using state grant money to give himself sizable bonuses.
And tonight, people at all levels of government demanding accountability and answers. Here is the update tonight from Greg.
These numbers indicate that Albany County.
And Assemblywoman Pat Fahey tells Greg she thinks the Albany County Democratic Committee should hold off on any endorsement of Soares at its committee meeting tomorrow. Soares is running for re-election this year. You can watch the full original report on Soares and the investigation. Just head to CBS6Albany.com to see Greg Floyd break down the numbers for you because you paid for it. Turning now to weather, a look outside tonight at Troy from our Freihofer's cam. It's calm now, but we could be gearing up for a pretty active weather day early tomorrow.
I know, we're going to be wishing for this perhaps this time tomorrow. We're going to send things over to Chief Meteorologist Steve LaPointe for a look at what's going on. Steve?
All right, Amani and JT, tracking a storm.
Well, financial help could soon be on the way for millions of children across the country, including hundreds of thousands statewide, as part of a push to reintroduce the child tax credit.
Child poverty has more than doubled nationwide since the child tax credit expansion expired in 2021. Lawmakers are fighting to get it back on the table. CBS 6's Ashley Kusakonki reports on how it could impact New Yorkers.
887.
Tomorrow, a big day for New York and possibly the country. The state holding a high-stakes special election for the House seat of former Republican Congressman George Santos in the state's 3rd district. Democrats view the seat as a prime pickup opportunity, but the nominees are in a tight race, according to recent polls. It's key to Democrats' chances of winning the House. Democrat and former Congressman Tom Suozzi going on the record today, calling his Republican opponent Mazi Philip, quote, Santos 2.0.
She supports Trump and she doesn't support Trump. I mean, who knows what she really stands for? So she's Santos 2.0. It's the exact same non-transparent, phony baloney, just trying to get votes instead of saying what you really think.
Both candidates continuing to be outspoken about the congressman they're replacing in George Santos, who's facing multiple federal corruption charges. Phillips saying she's long said Santos should have stepped down a while ago.
The fact he lied about his record, he lied to all of us. I was one of the first person who told him to resign because I don't believe with that lie, that amount of lie, anybody should serve as a congressman.
Santos was expelled from the chamber after a scathing House ethics report found he spent donor money on personal items and made many false statements about his background. A Democratic loss would raise concern for the party, whose president is currently facing low approval ratings. Well, if you watched the Super Bowl, you probably noticed multiple commercials for a company called Temu, an online retailer known for extremely low prices.
Well, the company is also at the center of a years-long investigation by Congress and lawsuits for alleged connections to slave labor and violating user privacy. Sinclair national correspondent Atre El-Nashar with a closer look at the brand behind the ads. Next tonight, honoring Black History Month here on CBS 6.
Tonight, we look at efforts to preserve Black history. One education advocate is making big strides.
And coming up in sports, the NFL has its champion, and it is once again the Kansas City Chiefs, the team ready to make history now in 2025. Well, in the heart of Albany, a groundbreaking initiative shedding light on often overlooked narratives of Black history.
The Albany Institute of History and Art embarking on a mission to uncover, preserve, and share the rich heritage of African Americans in the region. Led by public historian Lacey Wilson, the Albany African American History Project aims to document oral histories, unearth archival materials, and create educational resources that illuminate the experiences and contributions of African Americans throughout Albany's history.
I think sometimes we think about Black History Month and we think about a lot of major national people, but being able to open that up to anyone in the community who made a difference and the kid would want to be inspired by.
One person made that difference for Wilson. Nell Stokes, an education advocate. Far from home, Stokes moved from Montgomery, Alabama to the Capital Region in 1963 in hopes of finding a community suitable to raise her 6 children. Once running as an independent candidate for the City of Albany School Board in 1976, education was a top priority for Stokes.
What's your thoughts on that and parent involvement in their child's education?
Back in the day, I was not really satisfied with the type of education they were receiving, and I thought that if I was a part of the school board, I could be an influence on whatever was going on there. You have to take time to make sure that your kids are learning what they need to learn, and that you are part of the access that they have to the school system. I remember when my kids went to school, I was sort of on the first name basis with the teachers because I was always there asking questions and finding out what was going on.
This was just the beginning for Stokes. She went on to create the famous Black American Essay Contest, in which students were challenged to think critically about Black art and history. Students were tasked with writing about the past and present contributions for Black Americans. Essays judged by Capital Region mayors for every day in February. There was a new winner. Each winner had the chance to present their essays on air at one of 3 local news stations. Stokes shared the programming schedule from the 1981 broadcast with us, which aired right here on WRGB. Coming up at 6 tonight, we'll share how Stokes came up with the idea for the contest and other works.
For the weekend.
All right, thank you, Steve. You got the boots ready, right?
I got them ready to go, yep.
I got to find mine. I'll look for them later. Ahead at 5:30, a night of partying could turn to tragedy in just seconds.
How regulators want to keep you safer behind the wheel.
A live look at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas when we come back, how the Chiefs pulled off that overtime win last night and are already looking ahead to setting an NFL record next season.
Sports, sponsored by your local Upstate Chevy dealers.
All right, the Kansas City Chiefs are the first back-to-back Super Bowl champs in 19 years.
The Chiefs became the league's 9th repeat Super Bowl champs after Sunday night's Super Bowl victory. Mecole Hardman catching the 3-yard touchdown pass from Patrick Mahomes during overtime, beating the San Francisco 49ers 25-22. It's the second time a team has won the Super Bowl in overtime in league history. Mahomes and company say they're already thinking of a three-peat, saying they're going to work their way back to the big game next year.
It's legendary. I mean, just to be able to, no one's ever done it. We'll celebrate these next few weeks and then we'll get right back at it.
Yeah, so what are the odds of a three-peat? Very low. As you heard, the NFL has never seen a team win 3 straight. In pro sports, the last team to do it, the Los Angeles Lakers in 2002, winning 3 straight NBA Finals. Before that, the New York Yankees from 1998 to 2000.
All right, congrats. Congrats to them.
Yeah.
Well, if you won big last night or even lost, the IRS wants to know what you need to do before filing your taxes next year.
And a crisis in the classroom. We're learning the Albany academies look to cut staff. We're going to dig into why schools across New York are running short on teachers.
CBS 6 News starts now with breaking news.
And that breaking news first tonight at 5:30. Police body camera video released after a man died in Troy police custody last fall.
We've just gotten a hold of this video showing you just part of it right now as we go through the rest. This is just one angle from one of the 2 officers. It comes amid an investigation by the state attorney general's office. Police can be heard in the video asking Woody Smith to get on the ground. They were responding to reports of a trespassing in Lansingburg on October 13th. In their official statement, Troy police said Smith displayed signs of medical distress after being placed in handcuffs. An officer displayed his taser but never discharged it. Smith was administered Narcan and life-saving measures were carried out, but he was pronounced dead later at a hospital. The Attorney General's investigation is not over. And stay with us for all of your top stories and big headlines at 6, and read up online at CBS6Albany.com.
For months, we've been telling you about a shortage in teachers. It is a crisis in the classroom, and it gets worse when you consider 1 in 3 teachers statewide could retire in the next 5 years.
As Laura Lagarde reports, the number of college students enrolled in teaching programs is too low.
Colleges are seeing a steady decline.
Donald Trump in federal court in Florida today for a closed hearing in his classified documents case. The former president facing dozens of felony counts in the case. He's accused of hoarding highly classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate in public areas and obstructing the FBI when the government tried to get them back. Today's hearing is to discuss how to handle evidence in the case. The trial is set for May 20th. Trump denies any wrongdoing. Just in time for the deadline today, Trump asked the Supreme Court to delay his election interference trial. On Thursday, a New York judge will confirm the date for his hush money trial, while an Atlanta judge addresses the alleged improper relationship of DA Fani Willis. We're also watching for whether the Supreme Court will let Trump be banned from state presidential ballots and how much he has to pay for misstating the value of properties in his business empire.
And tonight, new fallout from that report from special counsel Robert Hur that detailed multiple examples of President Biden's memory loss.
Sinclair national correspondent Christine Frizzell bringing us a look at the response from critics, supporters, and the president himself.
Hello, hello, hello.
Still to come, in-car breathalyzer tests prevent drivers with a history of drunk driving from repeating the offense.
Regulators are working on a way to make that technology a standard for all new cars, and it could save countless lives. Well, every 39 minutes, one person is killed in a drunk driving crash in the U.S. More than 13,000 people died in 2021 alone.
Now, a bold federal proposal wants to stop drunk driving crashes before they happen by putting alcohol detection technology in every new car. National investigative correspondent Lisa Fletcher reports.
The drunk that hit us doing approximately
the weekend, low 30s.
All right, thank you, Steve. Coming up at 6 tonight on CBS 6, part 2 of a special Black History Month story.
Tonight, we look at efforts to preserve Black history, how one education advocate is making big strides.
As the CBS 6 Weather Authority team tracks some winter weather. Well, it is American Heart Month, and heart disease is the leading cause of death in both men and women.
Both can have some of the more well-known symptoms, crushing chest pain, nausea, and sweatiness. But as medical reporter Barbara Morse explains, recognizing symptoms isn't always so obvious, especially for women.
Women absolutely can have the...
If you won big with predictions last night, according to tax experts, you could be on the hook to report those winnings to the IRS.
And if you don't show those winnings on your return somewhere, then when they try to do their match to say, hey, you've got $1,000 of winnings and on your return we see nothing, then you get a friendly letter saying we think you forgot something.
Very important to report your winnings to the government and your losses and keep track of those losing slips.
The IRS doesn't ask you for detail or anything like that. It's your word that you have $200,000 in losses. If you ever get audited in relation to those $200,000 in losses, you better have ticket stubs, you better have transactional data and sufficient backup that you can provide them.
And tax day is just about 2 months away, but you'll have to put the weekend's numbers somewhere safe until 2025. Read more about reporting bets to the IRS at CBS6Albany.com. Still to come tonight, a report you saw first here on CBS 6 leading to demands for answers and accountability.
The growing chorus of backlash aimed at Albany County District Attorney David Soares.